What's up? Okay, so I was gonna make this a whole like motion graphics thing. That's just ridiculous. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna try to explain it really quickly, and if you aren't following me still, then I'll move to the next step. But I feel like you should be able to understand what I'm saying. Okay, so let's just say like a cylinder, a very like reduced down to as much as you can. All right, you're gonna know what your length is and your poles. And your kind of basic faces. So let's say you're given an arm, okay, with fingers. Well, if you were to reduce that, right, it would be a cylinder. It would be a cylinder just right here. Your hole is here, and then you have an end here. And with the fingers, once you get to the end of the hand, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes, right, which make the tunnels, the next cylinders of your geometry, right? And each one of those are going to have their own vectors, right? Their own poles, their own vectors, their own normals, right? So it's like an auto rig tool, where so you have one, then you have your next holes. Do it again. All right. Same idea with the face. Okay. So we know we have holes here, and if I have to like do the Photoshop stuff and put some stuff in After Effects, I will. I just don't feel like it's really necessary to understand. So you have the holes here in a mesh. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have a hole here. You're gonna have your nostrils. You're gonna have your holes in your ears, and I guess technically to auto rig it, auto topo it, you would have a hole at the neck. Because it's finding where all your dips are, right, in the mesh. So with a nose, right, your nose, like, it comes to a point. That point is going to be whatever. That's going to be your normal. It's going to be your vector. Because of your mouth, like, it's the same idea. Your chin, right? Chin's going to have a vector, so everything gets reduced to that point. You get your ears. Your ears are even going to have, they're even going to have a vector that shoots off your head. Plus, they have the whole ear canal to start from, right? So you have your vectors, you have your normals, then you have the holes. You just find the center point. So you have the holes cut out, you find the exact center point, and you move out from that. Your cheeks, I suppose I don't have the most defined cheeks, but it's still there, right? It's still a peak, right? So when you're reducing everything, like wherever your peak is, right, that's where your poles are going to be. That's where your main normals. And it's not hard to fill in the blanks, right? It's like connecting the dots. Like once you have your peaks, and once you have your valleys, you're just filling in the blanks between there. And from that point on, you can make any sort of any sort of topology on top of that arbitrary mesh. And if you don't understand that, I'll spell it out more. But I'm like, it's pretty much the gist. It's not. I don't think it's too hard to understand. You're doing the whole. I laughed at the round peg hole thing, but square peg round hole, whatever. But I think that's more like representative of the thinking of like it's a hard problem, and it is a hard problem. Of course, it's a hard problem, but like I just reduced it to, you give it a set of rules based upon, we got XYZ coordinates, and then you're filling in blanks, and from there you can change the topology however you want. I think that makes sense.